play and call it work.
What is going on, everyone? Vito here from MiniWarGaming.com, and I've got
Phil, the Glacial Geek.
What's going on, everyone? This is the show, Sit and Talk, where you get to ask me, Vito, essentially any question that your heart desires. You can ask me essentially anything. It could be about my personal life. It can be about religion. It can be about almost anything. But it's going to be...
Food.
Sorry?
Favorite food.
Favorite food, sure, why not? But it's going to be up to me if I choose to answer it. If it's about nerdy culture, I love it even more. But generally, it devolves into wargaming and the such. For today's show, we are going to be giving away this sweet box of neophyte hybrids. I actually thought it said neophyte birds.
Neophyte
like,
birds,
what are neophyte birds?
Brand new unit. Fly and can assault. Yeah, that'd be great.
AP -4.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Amazing. As always, folks, I'm going to open up the chat. If you like to leave a question, you have to leave the command !ask and then your question. You can leave one question at a time. I will then I'll answer your question. I'll then clear it, and then you can ask even more questions to your heart's content. It just stops you from kind of leaving, spamming the queue. For next week, I believe it's Steve. Is that right, Colin?
Steve.
We're double checking that right now.
That
Colin's in the background doing his little beep boops, beep boops.
Making this all happen.
Phil, thank you so much for joining me
no
today.
problem. Thank you for having me.
We are currently playing a game of 1,500 points of 1,000 Suns versus Gene Stealer Cult. I think we're on the bottom of turn 2.
Yeah, about to start bottom of turn 2, which is when my Gene Stealer Cult can come out of Deep Strike. So that's when things really get spicy for the Gene Stealer Cult.
Yeah, and it's actually a pretty cool scenario that we've set up where it's a custom scenario.
Yeah.
We're playing on like an icy lake, and anytime you go to advance, you get +1 to your movement, but depending on your size of your unit, so let's say you have 10 guys, you roll 10 dice, and if you roll a 1, you suffer a mortal wound as you fall through the frozen, frigid lake.
Yes,
So
that's
kind of
already come into effect. We won't say how, because that's a spoiler, but it has come into effect, so you'll see it.
Yeah. So next week is going to be Steve. So in this video, which is going to be on MiniWarGaming.com, please make sure to leave a question for Steve. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the queue. Boop! Queue is now open, so make sure to put in your questions. Like I said, it can be about anything. I am an open book. Give me your heart's deepest desires. Colin just gave me a weird look. Colin, you can ask me a question too in the chat. It's totally up to you.
I need to do something.
Uh-oh.
Colin needs to do something. Did I just something wrong?
Uh-oh.
No, I did something wrong.
Ignore the man behind the ignore the man behind the
Oh, we need
the
to
curtain.
connect.
Yeah, maybe the queue is actually not open yet, and it will be now.
The
Now
queue
it's
is now open. Now you can leave me any question to your deepest, darkest secrets about me.
Yeah, we're good.
The Darkest Stig says, "Woo, Phil! How is the grand opening?" The grand opening was actually really good. Phil,
Yeah.
you were there.
I was there. I was too, and I had a blast. There were a ton of people. They had tons of cake too, which
lot
was
of
awesome.
cupcakes.
Lots of cupcakes. A lot of people coming through. There were a lot of people coming through that didn't even know about what wargaming was.
Yeah.
That were just blown away by everything here because they were doing tours of all of the studios and the bunker spaces upstairs, and there were a ton of people that were here from a bunch of different YouTubers, like Adam from Tabletop Minions was here, Aaron from Cool Guy Nations was here, who else? Miranda and Tommy from Wargamer Girl were here,
Yep.
the Wargaming 40K couple were here.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people here. Doug from Table War was here.
He's still here.
He's still here. He's
Couple
just
doors down.
So
Jinx, you
yeah,
owe me soda?
I'll get you that later.
Nice.
But it was a ton of fun, tons of people, and just really a really awesome time. And the Goth Rockers played.
Yeah,
How could I
they
forget
did.
about that? That was awesome. They were super cool, rocking out real hard. It was a really good time.
Yeah, I was mostly going around filming everything. There's gonna there's gonna be a video coming up soon on Saturday, so you can see all my filmography, videography, handiwork. And then I was pretty much giving tours to everyone, and like you said, people coming off the streets just wondering essentially what we do here. So I was giving tours to everyone. So the Darkest Dig.
He had to work. I got to enjoy it. So.
Exactly. But I did get to enjoy some hamburgers and sausages and hot dogs. Those were actually really good.
It was really good. So.
Why isn't this clear? I'll pick next. Kroll64. What do you think of last year's Predator film? As all of you know, I'm a big fan of the Predator franchise. So I have to admit, I haven't actually fully watched the last Predator film. However, I did watch kind of like clips and things of that. And I know the basic premise where there's like this apex predator, there's this big giant guy who's essentially, bullets can't hurt him. He gets stabbed, nothing hurts him. And I feel as though it kind of lost the mystique of the first one. Have you watched the first one?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've ever watched it.
The very first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one with Arnold.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Right, exactly. So,
like I said, I've seen clips.
Okay, fair enough.
Enough to quote it and know all of the quotes from it, but not enough to.
So a bit of a spoiler. Yeah. With the first one, I found that it was almost a horror movie where you had these essentially 80s action hero guys who were the cream of the crop, these, total bad and they were thrown into this environment where they are the perfect soldiers, and now they're going up against essentially something that's hunting them. And it doesn't matter what they throw at this thing, they can't find it, but they can kill it, because Arnold does say that awesome line, if it bleeds we can kill it. However, with the latest Predator film, you actually see the monster, whereas in the previous Predator film, it wasn't until like halfway through the film, or actually late in the film, you actually finally see the monster. With the new Predator film, you see the monster, they're shooting at it, and it's just this invulnerable monster. So I feel like you kind of lose that mystique of the horror franchise of it. That's my personal opinion. Sorry for the cough. I thoroughly enjoyed Alien versus Predator. Have you watched that one?
No, I haven't. I'm not a big. So I'm putting this out there. I'm not a big horror fan.
Okay, fair enough.
Because
sci-fi.
I do like sci-fi.
Okay.
I do like that, but the horror aspect of it usually gets to me because I'm a little weenie, and I I never found the enjoyment of being scared. People are like, oh, that's the point. It's like to be scared. I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I want to be scared? I don't get it.
Right.
So I don't enjoy the being scared part. So I usually end up missing a lot of those things, even though I know they're fantastic, just sci-fi films.
Right.
Like the idea of it being horror, and like with Aliens, where it's like going around the corners. Oh, like jump scares. Forget it. I'm the worst. I'm worst when it comes to jump scares. So you can ask my wife. She just doesn't even try to watch horror films with me anymore because she says it's embarrassing.
So we're going on to the next question. We have Orion the 11B. Almost sounds like a planet.
Yeah.
I'm making a new army using the Raptors chapter from Forge-Rolled, Raven Guard successors. Right now, looking at units to add. Any suggestions? I
would get some HQs with jump packs, just because, they're called Raptors and they're the Raven Guard. I think they have like a lot of the the fast movement with jump packs, or am I mistaken with that? I think so, right?
Yeah.
They're the guys with the jump packs. Yeah. So HQs with jump packs, you could put any of the HQs now, especially from the original Marines. So you can get lieutenants, you can get captains, you can get any of those guys with jump packs and throw them in there. I think that would be a cool way to start out with at least the HQ section of your army. From there, and then probably some Vanguard veterans and things like that, just to get like that fast, assaulty kind of force that you want to try to get in there with. I think it'd be cool.
I think so, yeah. Raven Guard, they've always to me been like the space ninjas of the 41st millennia. Are you opposed to using Primaris Marines in your army? People love using aggressors.
Yeah.
Aggressors are super strong.
Aggressors are cool, and they would be a nice solid fire base for your army to work from. You could also use a lot of if you get access to the Shadow Spear box, with the new Phobos armor would also work really well with the Raven Guard kind of tactics and the kind of abilities that they have there. So they might be something you might want to look into. Scouts with camo cloaks, going back into the stealthy portion of it. So
Ryan is saying that the problem is they don't do melee and shooting.
they don't do melee
and shooting.
and
They
shoot.
are shooty instead.
Oh, they're shooty instead.
Shooting instead.
Oh, well, then you can use the so that you can kind of go along with the aspect of them like moving around really quick. There's those what are they called? Not the Eliminators. What are they from the Shadow Spear box set? The guys with the jump packs of the
With the
guns. I can't remember what they're called. They basically
Yeah.
look like Inceptors, except they've got like giant auto
big auto
cannons,
guns.
which are pretty cool looking, and it would kind of go along with the idea of like fast movement and moving around. Suppressors. Thank you very much. Our magician from the side over there gave us the answer there, which is cool. But yeah, so you can have those. I think those would be probably a good addition to the force, just because again, when I think of Raven Guard, even if their particular chapter is more shooty than assaulty, that I still think of them being more stealthy and coming from the dark and working with maneuvering and stuff like that. That's what I envision when I think of Raven Guard. So going along those lines with this successor, I think it would be kind of cool to have a mobile gun line as opposed to like a more static gun line that you're going to find with Ultramarines or maybe with Dark Angels. I think a mobile gun line would be really kind of cool. So
I think so too. I mean, you can even like equip guys with lightning claws.
yeah, to try to give as much as that's always the thing. It's
If you
like
want close combat.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. It's like even if your chapter isn't necessarily geared towards close combat, having some of that is always beneficial. So if you have some Vanguard vets with lightning claws to kind of harken back to the Raven Guard, to be able to go up there and just harass units or to bad touch some tanks or something like that, I think that would be probably a solid choice for you to work with, so that your other gun line, the rest of your gun line, can kind of like quickly move around and be able to strike out. Maybe some land speeders. Land speeders are fun. They're fast and super shooty, so you can see if they work well with you there. So
Colin tried to grab something and just made the
fun
noise.
times.
So the Fridge 1337.
Leet.
Have any of you played Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, Relics of War? Is that a video game?
I think so. I haven't.
I have not.
Unfortunately.
I'm not really a big video game player.
Yeah.
I still play, like, really still. I mean, I have PlayStation 4, but I'm still playing, like, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I like, once a year, I still play that. I think it's one of my favorite games, and I will admit this on camera. I cried the first 15 minutes of playing that game.
I've heard it does that.
Yeah,
It's right in the feels.
Yeah, right in the field, especially when, I mean, you know what? The game has been out for a while. When, his daughter dies, guys, come on.
Spoiler alert!
It's been out for a while. It's like, oh, I haven't seen Avengers. How can you not have told me that whatever happens? Like, it's been out for a while.
But yeah, I play some video games. I actually very much enjoy playing PUBG. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because essentially for like 45 minutes I could so War Budgies, new sub here, 4-month tier 1. Woo!
Thank you so much. We always appreciate that.
Yes.
Sub.
But yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, PUBG. So I can like skulk around for like 45 minutes, just like just kind of gathering gear and running from the circle and getting into hiding places or driving the vehicles, and then gets to get shot in the head, killed instantly, and not win it. But I spent 45 minutes like enjoying myself and having fun with the game. I tried to do Fortnite, and my fast twitch reflexes are not good enough for that one. I'll go in there, I'll see someone, line up the shot, take the first shot, and all of a sudden they're in Fort Knox, and I have no idea what's going on, and then they kill me. Or I'm just like walking along, and they start shooting at me, and I start fidgeting around trying to figure out which is the build the wall button, and then I'm dead, and there's nothing to do it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to move on from that one. So nice. I do that, and then I do Civilization, like Civ 5 or Civ 6, because that's a little bit slower paced. I can do that.
Every once in a while, I still play Rome Total War.
Oh, yeah.
I
the
love
Total
that
War
game.
series is really good.
We're going to jump really quickly into some of the questions that were asked in the last sit and talk with Lee. I think there's only 4 questions right there. So we're going to go with the Danish Viking Alex. He asks, at Vito, Mr. Pretender, you will be judged when the Godseekers find the Dark Prince. Buddy, First of all, I am Slanesh since I am the pretender, so you've already found me. Got him. Got him. A few questions. I really enjoy your Slanesh bat reps. Thank you so much. Are you adding more models to your army? Perhaps a second or third keeper? Maybe one made as Shalaxi Hellbane. Which game do you enjoy the most, AOS or 40k? So am I adding more models to my AOS army? Oh boy, am I ever. So I just recently added a whole bunch of stuff to my Games Workshop cart.
Mm-hmm.
And I checked out. It was a little expensive.
One of those feelings, yeah, one of those feelings.
So yeah, I did pick up a Shalaxi Hellbane. So I currently have 2 Keeper Secrets that I just recently painted up. I am going to be getting Shalaxi Hellbane, which is the named
the named one, yeah.
Yeah, the named Keeper Secrets. I have intentions of getting a 3rd Keeper of Secrets, but I didn't add that to the cart. I got 2 more Infernal and Rapturouses, so the kind of heart bleeding.
Yeah,
so
those things look super cool.
They're pretty cool, and they're really good. In the game. So I'll have 3 of those in total, but I added 2. I got 3 of the Celeskis, which is like a named Demon Prince.
Okay.
So I have 1 already, but I picked up 3 of them because my intention is to convert those into regular Demon Princes.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I picked up the Infernal Courtiers. Are the Crypt Courtiers or Courtiers? They're a model kit from, what are they called? The Flesh Eater Corps?
Okay.
They're essentially these kind of crypt ghouls with really big wings.
Yeah.
So essentially, I got those just for their wings.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to put the wings on the named Demon Princes.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm going to sculpt long hair on him.
Oh, cool.
And then he's got like this 2-handed axe. So essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off his hands, and then with the claws from the not the Seekers, but the Fiends.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to put those on him, so then it's kind of like the twin Malefic Talons.
Oh, nice.
So it's a big conversion for 3 Demon Princes, but essentially I picked up those. I picked up 8 start collecting boxes of Demons of Slanesh.
Yeah.
What else did I pick up? It was a lot.
So that's an understatement when you said you are picking up some more models for this. That's like the
picking up a lot of
understatement of the
models.
year right there. It's like like 1 or 2,000.
Yeah, right. Oh geez, I can't remember what else I picked up, but the cart ended up being like $1,400.
Ooh. That's like one of those things where you check just to make sure that you didn't accidentally go to like Australia or something like that, and you're like, nope,
it's coming.
That's real.
To
that's
my
real
house.
coming here. That's not in Australian dollars. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And I made sure I asked my fiance if it was okay, because we are getting married.
Yeah. Always gotta ask.
And I made sure I budgeted for it, so everything is okay there. And the second part of your question, which game do you enjoy the most, AOS or 40k? At the current moment, I think it's a 60-40 split AOS. Yeah, that's currently where my kind of allegiance is going. But at the current moment, we're playing 40k, and I'm enjoying that. So
I hope so.
I
Yeah, this would have been an awkward moment for it if I was like, so right now we're playing 40k, and I'm hating every moment of being stuck in that room with Phil. So
Right.
while we're still stuck here, and it's like, oh god.
yeah, I mean, I kind of like. I'm not sure if I enjoy the double turn. It's great when I get it.
Yeah.
When it's like, stab me in the back when it happens to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think AOS is kind of where I'm leaning towards. At the current moment, I own 2 AOS armies.
Okay.
I will own a 40k army once I get my Demons of Slanesh army going. But yeah, eventually I'll own my own a second 40k army.
Yeah.
Haven't figured out yet what it's going to be. So going on to the next question, we've got Negrum29 asks, at Vito, what are your opinions on how to set up terrain in the new General's Handbook and how it affects faction-specific terrain? So we kind of touched about this a little bit in some of our bat rips. So for the General's Handbook 2019, you only really have like 4 or 5 pieces.
Okay.
And it's kind of like on a
battlefield?
On a battlefield.
Oh, okay.
And it's only really like 30 to 36 by 40 to 48.
Oh.
So it's a very small board.
Oh, okay.
And you're only playing with 1,000 points.
Oh, okay.
And then you separate your 1,000 point army into 3 separate armies. So you have essentially your spearhead, your main body, and then your rear guard.
Okay.
And then those separate armies can come in at different types, different parts within the battle.
Okay.
Okay. So with terrain at MiniWarGaming, we like to have a lot more terrain.
Yeah.
It just kind of has a little bit more cinematic feel.
Yeah, for sure.
But with those 5 pieces, a lot of them have like special features, like the realm gates do different things and things like that. We're not really a big fan of them here at MiniWarGaming terrain, at MiniWarGaming. So how, on your opinions on how to set up terrain, really just make it look good. If it says 5 pieces of terrain, put like 12 and see how you feel. You know what I mean? Have something that really make it look like you're filming a movie or you're playing in a dystopian battlefield. Just have something really cool and cinematic. That's how we like to play here at MiniWarGaming. I'm not saying that I am, a godsend when it comes to setting up terrain, but I really like to feel as though myself and my opponent, my guests, and the people who are viewing are in a full immersion of when they're coming to play or when they're viewing the bat rep.
Yeah.
So I like to have tons and tons of terrain.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of terrain?
My opinion is you have to have enough terrain to fit what you want the game to feel. Regardless of what people say, like in Kill Team, for instance, they always have like suggested terrain layouts that you can put on there. I've never once done the suggested terrain layouts when I play Kill Team. I do as much terrain as me and my opponent want to fit what we want the feel of the game to be. And I think it's the same with any rule in the game when you're playing, especially if you're playing not in like a tournament setting, that you just do what it feels right for you and your game. Like I've played, Arena is only supposed to be played with 100 points. I've done it with 200 points and commanders. Like any of those different things, it's like in any situation where the rule book suggests certain things or even has a rule for certain ways, do whatever feels right. So if you're putting down those 5 pieces and it feels super sparse and it takes you out of the game to the point that you're just like, I'm not as invested in this, I'm not as immersed in this, then change it. Put in more, put in whatever you want. If you want less terrain, then put in less terrain. It's up to you. Whatever you and your opponent need to do to make the game more enjoyable for you, do it. Change it and make it happen. Because at the end of the day, it's a game and it's only supposed to be whatever is going to be fun for you and your opponents. If you're trying to throw in extra terrain because it gives you an advantage over your opponent, that's a problem. That's a problem. But if you're putting in more terrain because it feels like it would be more fun and it's actually going to be either beneficial for both, either detrimental for both, or if it's going to be a null factor for both, then at that point, if you're doing it, then it's just for fun and you're doing it because it's what you want to do. And that would be my suggestion.
And you know what? It's your hobby.
Yeah.
It's your models. Do what you want to do. I'm a big advocate of that.
Yeah,
it's especially when you're painting your models and someone gives you flack for not painting a helmet a certain color or painting an army a certain color.
Or having a green raven wing.
You know what? It's your models. Do what you want to do with them. Absolutely. You paid the money. Paint them how you want and have fun. It's your hobby, everybody.
Absolutely.
So we have the last question over here on the MiniWarGaming site, which is from Big Mikey.
Boom.
And he says, Vito, assuming the order hasn't changed, it has not. Digimon is better than Pokemon. Oh, buddy. All right.
Why do you, wow. Cullen is like furious. He's about to like flip a table.
And I'm even wearing a Pokemon
I know,
shirt
seriously,
today.
of all the choices, man. That's it. It's out. It's over.
Okay.
Why do you have to say something so spicy?
Jeez Louise. And before we actually get into this subject matter, we actually have a new sub from B Moser 28. He gave us 28 bits. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
What? Not a sub.
Not a sub. It just said new sub.
Yeah.
But he is a sub.
But he is a sub. Cullen,
Thank you
buddy.
for the 28 bits.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So Digimon is better than Pokemon. Fight me, bro. where do you want to go? Cage match, ladder match, four for all, free for all,
4 for all.
A 4 for all, free for all.
3 of your best friends. Vito will bring 3 of his best friends, and then it's just an all.
An all.
Yeah, 4
an
for
all.
all.
4 for 6 for
4
all.
4 for all and all for 4.
Is Pokemon better than Digimon? I appreciated Digimon. I actually watched it when I was at my grandmother's house back in the day. It was fun. I like the fact that the Digimon could speak English.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine they spoke Japanese back in, or whatever language it,
where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from. But it was. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. One were digital monsters. One were pocket monsters. Yeah, cool. In all seriousness, I believe your last sit and talk, you were talking about maybe getting back into competitive painting. Do it. Worst case, you don't win anything. Best case, you push your painting powers levels over 9,000.
It's over 9,000.
Hey, you know what? You just made a Dragon Ball Z reference, so
that made up for your poor choice in Digimon over Pokemon decision.
So yeah, we can be friends again. Yeah. Can you also talk about general feelings about the office regarding the new Apocalypse rules, or what has been previewed released at this point? I believe we were talking a little bit about how this may be a test for the new rules for 9th. And the Eternal Nobody just gave us 100 bits.
Eternal Newbie.
I can't read.
It's all good.
Thanks, buddy, for the 100 bits. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Steve and I, we were talking about how this may be a test for the new 9th edition. What do you think about that? And this could be just Apocalypse rules.
It's true. So my opinion has always been that they're not going to have a 9th edition. I know that's there's a lot of people that are just like waiting for it to happen because it keeps coming out every couple of years, but I honestly believe that they're not looking to make this into a 9th edition, that they want whatever the edition right now, 8th edition, is just Warhammer 40,000 to them, and that's the way it's going to be, that they're going to continue to have it be a living rule set with the rules coming out and changes made in chapter approved every year, so that it solves their ability. It solves the ability of players to have something change and evolve, but also allows them to sell a book every year to all players, as opposed to just the ones who want to pick up a particular codex. And every time you have a new edition, you do have some fallout with players. And I think they want to keep the big build that they got with 8th edition, where they brought in a lot of old players and they're bringing in a lot of new players because of the fact that they kind of like wiped the slate clean and started pretty fresh with 8th edition. And I think they're looking to keep that momentum going, as opposed to like kind of throwing another roadblock in the way of all the new players and players that came back and then throw them for a loop with a whole new edition. I think they're kind of trying to build on things. So that's why I don't think there's going to be a 9th edition. But the new Apocalypse rules do look super sweet. And I'm interested in seeing how they play out with smaller games. Like, do I have to play a 5,000 point per side battle for the Apocalypse rules to play out well? Or can I play like a 1,500, 2,000 point army and just play with the Apocalypse rules the way they are?
Interesting.
So that, because as much as I know the Apocalypse rules are meant to be a faster game, it's not going to be like the 3 days that a regular Apocalypse game goes. I would still be interested to see if you can then bump down a 1,500 to 2,000 point game down to like the timing of maybe a kill team or something like that, because that would be kind of interesting to see how that goes.
The Squealy Pigs tier 1 sub for 2 months, and he's been a 3-year Vault member.
Thank you very much, Squealy Pigs.
Salute to you. Thank you so much, Squealy Pig.
Yeah.
Oh, the Zerga Lurga I gotta go back to that because I just closed it.
We'll get there. But yeah, so that's kind of the thing I'm most interested in seeing with the Apocalypse, because the rules seem really cool, and being able to field a lot more models would be very fun and interesting. You might be able to see Titans on the table a bit more often. Those things are just super cool looking models. So anything that'll get them on the table more often is in my opinion, a good thing. So I think with this, it'll allow them to see it more often on there and have them fight more often, which is always a good thing in my opinion. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays, because the rule sets seem cool and it seems like an interesting, fun way to play a game. But I'm just wondering how it varies with the power level, so that if you could play a smaller game, how that would do. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Did he ever Zerga Lurga Durg? Oh, did you ever leave a comment, my buddy? All right.
Chapter 1 by Zerga Lurga Durg.
All right, should I do this in my announcer voice?
You can go for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, no coughing. I'm going to do it.
That's a promise you're not going to get. Right. See instantly.
I just did it. All right. Good morning, Terra! We're glad to bring you to this episode of Good Morning Terra live and in color from the MiniWarGaming bunker, and we are joined by the newest and their entertainment servitors, Vito McVestfish! This episode of Good Morning Terra is brought to you by the Astartes Flakes. Have you ever been crouching down on Mangy Pack of Gretchen and feel like you just can't take another step? Don't you wish that you had the stamina of tirelessness of a Space Marine? What you need is to start your day by Space Marine with the Astartes Flakes, made of 100% mechanically separated Tyranid wheat germ. Astartes Flakes gives you that extra pep in your step to smite the Emperor's foes from dusk till dawn. Remember, folks, with Astartes Flakes, you shall know no fear from hunger. The folks at home have a lot of questions, so let's get right to it. Being an accomplished painter, how are you going to integrate the new contrast paints into your repertoire? Okay, I'm going to stop with that announcer voice because that's a little annoying.
It's getting to you.
Yeah. So I appreciate the accomplished painter. Thank you so much. How am I going to integrate the new contrast paints into my painting? At first, I thought I wasn't going to. But I'm really liking how they go over metallics. So what I'm planning to do, because I want to incorporate some, some Emperor's Children into my Slaanesh armies. So what I think I'm going to do is, just to get them done really quickly, I'm going to airbrush on some Vallejo silver over the chrome.
I've heard that was supposed to be really good for that.
Because I'm gonna pick up some cacophony squads from Forge World, and then because I don't really like the noise marines, because they're really old sculpts. Yeah. So I'm gonna use the cacophony squads from Forge World because I like those guns. Yeah. And then those are gonna be my noise marines. I'm gonna use Vallejo's chrome, and then I'm gonna use, I think it's not Vulpus pink. It's another type of pink or purple, and then put the contrast over that because I've seen some really cool things online with the metallics.
It looks really cool with those metallic bases. What you can do with the contrast paints, they look really, really cool.
Yeah, and then I have an idea for my third Age of Sigmar army, which is going to be Stormcast Eternals. Just because they're vanilla. Yeah. And you can do a lot of, you can do shooting, you can go close combat, you can do cavalry. Yeah. And I might do like a metallic blue.
Ooh, that'd be fun. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, like a beetle kind of a bluish.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's what I might do for the contrast paints. Gotcha. But besides that, I won't use them too much. Yeah. Except for when I'm painting my historicals. I do have a large historical army, like Ancient Romans, the Revolt of Spartacus, and it's all like true scale 28 mil. Yeah. I have like over 200 minis of that kind of stuff. So I might use the contrast stuff just to finally get that stuff done because I've been holding on to it for about 3 years. Yeah. So I just finally want to get that done. Yeah. It doesn't need to be like display worthy. I just need to get it done, put it on my shelf, and call it a day.
Yeah. I think that the biggest thing that you're going to see going forward with contrast paints is not people using only contrast paints on their minis. I think I could see them using it for certain applications. Like I think it would work perfectly for like orc skin, and then going in so you can like go over it and get like those skin tones that you can get with it, and then go back in and paint in like their armor or their pants or whatever else with non-contrast paints, so that you've got the ease with the flesh and you don't have to worry about that, and then you just have to go in and paint in everything else with the other things. I think that to me seems like a good way going forward with a lot of people. You know, there's ways of doing an entire army. Like I think Tyranids would be easy to do with only contrast, just because they've got. It seems like fleshy body stuff seems to be working better if you're not using it as just a tint. Like you were looking at to use it like as a tint over like a metallic base.
Or you're like hordes of skeletons.
Yeah, exactly.
You have like 200 skeletons to do.
Yeah, boom. Done. Seriously, or like 60 Gretchen. It's like boom. You got the skin is taken care of then, which I think is going to be pretty popular.
So with most of 40K codexes out, where do you think Games Workshop is going to take 40K from here? Do you think they should redo some of the older codexes? Redo them, update them? I definitely think updates are needed. Yeah. In terms of like, where do you take 40K? Are you talking about like lore? Lore-wise, I love them. Dare I say kill the Emperor?
Oof.
Like, kill him and maybe even introduce the Star Child.
Wow. And we thought that the Digimon over Pokemon was a spicy comment.
Right?
Right there. Super spicy.
Well, because what if you introduce the Star Child theory?
Yeah.
Right? He comes back and then you usher in this whole new age. Because, I mean, how long are we going to have this stagnant kind of universe? I mean, sure, it kind of just progresses this whole universe where they can, you know, sell miniatures and stuff. But I mean, yeah, we do. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that we just progressed the story with Gilliman coming back.
Yeah.
We have the Primaris, but where do we go from there?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm ready to say I want to see the Emperor dead.
But he can come back.
Yeah, it's
he
true.
Come back.
It's true. I can see that. I can see them progressing more and further assaults maybe onto Terra. You know, I could see them doing. They've talked about like in the Dark Angels Codex, and they've hinted at different areas about like a large force of the Fallen gathering on the edges of the galaxy.
Yep.
That could come forth. I could see them assaulting towards Terra. I could see the Tyranid High Fleets like regathering and coming towards Terra. I could see maybe some more attack moves from the Orcs. Like I think finding Terra itself under more and further assault would be more and more interesting for them to progress.
Because they really don't do much with Tyranids. I'd love to see some kind of Tyranid invasion where, you know, finally, you know, the Imperium of Man and Chaos are like, you know, we've been doing this for the past, you know,
10,000 years,
10,000 years, whatever. You know, the space bugs are coming.
Yeah.
We need to do something.
Yeah.
Else we're all gonna die.
Yeah, Abaddon doesn't want to get nommed any more than you know. And Gilliman wants to get nommed.
Or even have another Primarch come back. That'd be cool.
That would be
have
really cool.
Another
the lion,
renegade. Yeah.
Please be the lion. I think that going forward, I think they're going to be doing more codexes. You saw it with Chaos Space Marines version 2.0. I think you're going to see version 2.0s of a lot of different codexes as they come out, as they release more and more models for different things. Like I can see a Space Marine version 2.0 coming out soon with the release of the stuff from Shadow Spear and things like that, with the new repulsor that's coming out. I can see them coming out with a brand new like Space Marines version 2.0 that you can get like the update FAQ or updated errata for free, but you can also buy the new book that's going to have all of the new rules in it. I think that might be for the codexes the way they're going to be going forward with it. I also see them doing a lot more of the like books like the Vigilus books going forward, because that really started to kick off at the end of 7th, and you saw it like with the Curse of the Wolfen or the Monka, like all of those scenario books really started to go like sell like hotcakes. People loved them and were like eating them up. And I think it was a way for GW to sit back and go, oh, okay, well, as opposed to having to sit there for months and months, like rewriting all of the rules and core for the codexes, we can just come out with these new scenario books that have new and interesting things that we can work with, and it's a lot easier for them, and people will buy it and use all of those rules. So I think you're going to see more of them coming out with things like I said, like Vigilus and Vigilus Burns and stuff like that. So.
We're gonna.
Yeah, we haven't gotten back.
We're gonna finish. There's still his one long question. Yeah, because we're gonna rapid fire some of these questions. Yeah, we have.
This was from Nurgalurgadurg.
Yeah, this is from Zergalurgadurg.
Zergalurgadurg
asked a really super long question.
Yeah, it was Catfish who asked something at the beginning, and he's saying it might have got skipped.
Oh, we haven't. Well, we haven't.
I haven't asked.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten Catfish yet.
Yeah, we haven't been reading the ones from chat much. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I got this, I'm gonna start rapid firing some questions.
Yeah.
So lastly, we have a question here, still from Zergalurgadurg. Lastly, we have a new feature here today, the Primarch Supremacy Tournament. Each week, we ask the MiniWarGaming staff to choose a winner of a head-to-head matchup until we crown one Primarch as a Supreme. We were using all the pre-heresy Primarchs for this tournament. For this week's matchup, we would like to pit the Lion L. Johnson against Alfarius and Omegon. Who will win and advance? Let's go with Vito's answer.
Be careful how you answer this. We have a Son of the Lion sitting next to you. So
interesting. Well, this is a 2-against-1 question. I might have to go. I don't really like either of these Primarchs.
We should ask Lehman Russ's Jaw who would win in this fight here.
Lehman Russ's Jaw.
Yeah, the one that Lionel Johnson broke
Right.
As he took him down.
However, Alfarius and Omegon are going 2 against 1. The Johnson is a pretty good fighter.
Yeah.
But there is 2 against 1. I feel like Alfarius may be able to distract the lion while Omegon, kind of sweeps in beneath, and you know what I mean? I might have to go with Alfarius and Omegon on this one. That's my opinion.
I'm out. Can you take this mic off of me? I'm out. That's it. I'm flipping the table. We're done with.
I mean, it's you know what I mean. It's the sneaky sneaks versus the true the lion. I guess that's my pick. That's all for today's Good Morning Tara. We now shoot over to Colin, who asks the age-old question: which elf is which? Cullen. Cullen is currently running all the tech behind the curtain, so we're gonna keep the servitor running his engines.
His answer is all of them are Alfarius.
Yeah. So Catfish 666. Vito, who gives you the hardest time in the office? And Phil, do you record any games at MiniWarGaming on your channel? Who gives me the hardest time? That's definitely Steve. But that's just kind of the nuance of our relationship that Steve and I have.
Yeah. And which is kind of appropriate since I did record a game with Steve last night between his orcs and my Gene Stealer cult. So you'll be seeing that coming out in a couple weeks.
We have a next question from Kim Simbi1. Get Matt on a chug a mug. The day it's on YouTube, I will join the vault. Deal. Well, actually, we have Matt on the previous chug a mug, where he drank a whole thing of vinegar, and he almost choked. So yeah, Matt is on chug a mug. So you definitely need to join that vault.
I know that Steve did say he had an idea for the next chug a mug that he was trying to get ready. So, but we'll see. I don't know when that would be, but yeah.
And you know what? I think it is that time for us to do the giveaway of the Neophyte hybrids. So, Colin, how would we like to work this?
You are going to.
We are going to.
I'm going to say the word.
Okay.
All right.
Everyone's going to type in chat.
Type in the chat.
And then type that word the exact same.
Okay. I think that's a good one. All right. So in what do you think? Like 10 seconds to get to. We're gonna give us a second here.
Okay.
I have my word.
Yeah, we have the word. Do you want me to write it down so you can put it in and have it ready to go before? There we go. All right.
We're just giving Colin a second here to get prepped so you guys can win this wonderful box of Neophyte hybrids. In this box, you will get 10 Neophyte hybrids. These miniatures come not painted, but you do get to assemble them with glue and clippers.
It's a cool kit. It's a really cool kit. And if
cool.
you're thinking about doing Gene Stealer Cult, these guys are really awesome, both as Neophyte hybrids and as Brew Brothers. You can run them kind of as both, since a las gun and an auto gun are pretty much very similar things. So.
No caps.
Yeah.
What's up? No caps?
And don't duplicate it.
What's that?
Don't
duplicate. That's right. So you can't duplicate it. If you put it in twice, you're going to be canceled for spamming.
Yeah, you'll be a Digimon fan.
Yeah. AKA dead to us.
So, Phil, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about joining a cult?
Not often, but I have thought about how cool it would be to be in a cult in the future.
Right. Yeah. I hear that you make more money as a leader, but you have more fun as a follower.
Of a cult.
Of a cult. So today's word, if you want to win these Neophytes, these Neophyte hybrids, is cult. So make sure you put in cult in 3, 2, 1, now. Cult.
Cult. C-U-L-T, all lowercase. Don't write it twice, otherwise you're going to get kicked out and sent into the warp. So.
And don't join a cult.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Highly unadvised.
Unless you want to join my cult.
The cult of Vito?
Yeah, you have to wear a vest. And
yeah, that's it. That's literally it. That's all you got to do. Is just wear a vest.
You wear a vest. We make lots of money, but we don't. We don't work. No.
Yeah.
And then we disband right away.
Yeah. How's it going over there? We got enough people going through? No. All right. So still building up. Keep
Still
doing
building
it.
up.
Keep writing it in
Cool.
there.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
so how about we keep going? Ask some of these questions.
Yeah.
Lots of more questions as we go through. So put in cult, and we'll let you know when we decide to.
So we're gonna ask a question from Grimjaw1. Are either of y'all interested in the upcoming Apocalypse rule set? Also, I've asked the others before, Vito, but I forgot to ask you. I think, Colin 140521.
What's your? As for the Apocalypse rule set, I guess we already talked about that. It is we are kind of interested in it, but
yeah, I'm curious to see what it thinks, what it does.
I'm interested to see how it plays too. So.
The giveaway pushed it away.
Oh no!
Oh,
sorry, Grimjaw.
Okay,
we'll clear it out. And
tell you what, Grimjaw, I'm gonna clear your question. Ask it again, okay?
Yeah, and we'll see it pop up on there. In the meantime, are you ready to do the winner?
Favorite cookie.
Are we ready to do the winner?
Yeah.
All right, we are ready to do the winner.
Okay, we are ready to announce a winner.
All right, and
we're rolling the winner now. Rawasi?
Oh man,
we're gonna get a spelling for you.
RIWOSI. RIWOSI. You are the winner.
Congratulations. You get the Neophyte. I keep looking at this.
Yeah,
you get the Neophyte hybrids. This is all yours.
So you have to whisper at MiniWarGaming, right, with your information, so that they can get your information and make sure that they send it out to you.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world. I've watched plenty of streams to know what you guys say.
Yeah, exactly. Anywhere in the world. Yeah, exactly. We pay for your shipping, and this is yours. Congratulations.
Riawasi.
All yours.
Congratulations.
I don't know if there's a shine on here, but
yeah.
Boom! That is yours. I'm not even going to hold it anymore. So I don't have to keep doing it.
It's not yours. It's not his
it's not even mine.
It's now yours.
And we have from MacDaddy303, Tier 1 for 6 months.
Thank you, MacDaddy.
It's almost there to a baby.
Yeah. Almost to baby style as MacDaddy.
Look at that.
So.
And then we have from Jawadal, do you realize you won the White Scars game and because you called upon the lady? The lady of the lake won me the White Scars game. My first White Scars win.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm tired of being crushed.
Did she heave you a sword from the lake that you slew your foes with?
It was more gas.
Okay.
more gas for my bikes.
I like that.
And then we have a new Twitch Prime for 5 months from Merc Raw. Colin, what does that even say?
What's Twitch Prime plug?
Twitch Prime 5
for
months.
5 months.
For
from
5.
Mukrar, right? MUKRAR. So excellent. Twitch Prime Plus.
Plus.
I thought that was
plus.
A plug. No, it is plug. I was right the first time. Plug.
Plus.
Twitch Prime plug.
Plug?
What? I have no idea what's going on.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. Oh. Cullen is helping us here. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free subscription that you can take to any one channel on Twitch. So it doesn't cost you anything more than you're already paying for.
That's pretty awesome.
Amazon Prime, and you get there, and it helps support channels like MiniWarGaming continue to do what they do. So give that a shot if you have Amazon Prime and you've never used it before. Give it a call. It's called a Twitch Prime for 1 month from Arlie_B. Thank you very much, Arlie_B.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. It does help support the channel. So all of that really does help. So if you do have an Amazon Prime account and you haven't signed up for it, if you just sign into Twitch through that account, you get a free sub to one channel of your choice. So it may as well be MiniWarGaming.
Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, don't subscribe to Digimon.
Yeah. Ninja's already got enough. So send it to MiniWarGaming.
Right, yeah. And same thing with PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Did he even do?
I don't know if he does Twitch.
Yeah, never mind.
Oh, we've got another
the
Twitch
Kelt
Prime.
76 Twitch Prime.
Thank you very much.
2 months. Look at this guy go.
No,
was it 1 month?
1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
I thought it was Cullen did a one. And,
he did a fancy one.
Cullen, can you write a little neater, please?
Circular. No, he said
no.
So no luck on the better handwriting. But the Celt 76. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it as always.
Yes.
Moving on to the questions. _Pravida
campaign.
I imagine it's campaign.
Yeah.
What is the one local place I need to eat when I visit the bunker next week? There's actually a couple. There's a place called Trappers. which is the kind of the new local watering hole, which we all go to. There's a lot of pub food.
Yeah.
A gigantic big
Pretty
portions,
tasty.
really cheap. The old place that we used to go to was Cheers. Really good chicken wings, also pub food. There's the place, was it Rose Star Garden, Colin? The Chinese food place? Star Rose Garden. Excellent Chinese food. Gigantic portions.
Yeah. There's a Thai place downtown called Thailandia. That's really tasty. Very, very good food there. So
There's a good place too if you want a nice pizza called the Rex Hotel and Angelina's. I highly recommend that place as well.
Yeah.
And there's also the vegan hippie chick.
It's a place. It's called the Vegan Hippie Chick. So
yeah, if you want some really decent vegan food as well.
thank you for the host, Dylan Bauer, BOWYER 101. Thank you very much for hosting as well, spreading the word of MiniWarGaming. And I guess also spreading the word of Glacial Geek since I'm on here too. So I appreciate that.
AC the Rock Devil asks, Vito, why have you not had someone make a Vito the Vito poem featuring Danny DeVito?
Wow. Why haven't you?
Right?
It's like your whole existence now got called into question for that.
Well, so first I have to find someone who has to make the poem.
Yeah.
And then I have to find someone who's going to make the poem. Who's
read by Danny DeVito.
So then they have to make Danny DeVito do that?
I would think so. That would be cool.
I got to get Danny DeVito to do that.
He seems like the kind of guy that would, so go with it.
I mean, we'll try. He's really short.
Yeah. I don't think that would interrupt his ability to read a poem.
Well, I mean, what if the paper's all the way up there?
Unless you've got your microphone really high up, just lower it down, man.
Danny DeVito's a good kid.
Yeah. Kid.
Squealy Pigs! Vito, where in Italy are your family from? So my mom is from Pistizi. She's Pistacese, which is southern Italy. And my dad is from Calabria, which is southern Italy. I believe the region is Catanzaro, and the town, let's see if I can remember, it's Calabria, Catanzaro, and the actual town, Cencerchi. Cencerchi is the town, if I remember correctly. So that's where my dad is from. Can't believe I remember that.
That was good.
Well, my dad always says, oh, do you know where electricity was invented? It was in Cencerchi. Oh, do you know where paintballs were invented? It was in Cencerchi. Oh, do you know where water was invented? Cencerchi. Apparently a town of like 100 people, everything was invented there. Do you know where air was invented? Cencerchi. Yeah, exactly. So next we have Lash83. Are you going to play Astra Militarum soon? Kind of miss see some Lehman Russes in action. So I actually had a fun list that I have actually on Battlescribe. And it's kind of based on the movie Predator.
Nice. And
it's also then based on the role play that we did, Wrath and Glory, featuring my character Dutch, who was Arnold Schwarzenegger, essentially a Catachan with a plasma gun. So we've got a bunch of tank commanders where Dutch is in a Lehman Russ tank with the plasma cannon.
Of course, he had to be the plasma.
And then, we've got Dylan's in there as well. We've got Blaine, who's got like the big minigun. Yeah. So he's in I believe it's a Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to play Astra Militarum. It's all Catachan, obviously. I haven't played Astra Militarum yet, and generally I don't really play armies until I feel comfortable playing them, just because I don't want to make too many rules mistakes on camera. I know I do make rules mistakes. It's inevitable. But I don't want to field an army until I feel 100% comfortable, because I want to make sure that you guys have a good time. I want to make sure I have a good time, and I want to make sure that my guest is having a good time as well.
And actually, there's actually a Lehman Russ in our battle report that is currently ongoing right now next door. So
it is.
You can see that going.
So the Darkest Stig asked another question saying, I'm going to Warhammer World. Should I buy a Castus Knight, put fire on, or a Warhound Titan?
Woo!
The Pythiron, that's a really cool model. It's
super
like
cool
a
looking.
mini knight with the big kind of
Yeah, well, it's a mini Titan. It's
Titan,
like somewhere
yeah.
between like a knight and a Titan.
Yeah.
It does look super cool.
or a Warhound.
Yeah.
I say go for the Pythiron. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Pythiron?
think you'll probably be able. I guess it also depends upon what kind of games you're playing or looking to do with it. Because I imagine the knight, the Cassis Knight Pythiron, would be able to be played in more games. I think I could see it being played in regular 40K more often. Although with Apocalypse coming out, you'll probably be able to get in the Warhound Titan a bit more often with a more streamlined version of the game that allows for bigger point levels like that. So, I mean, at that point, you'll probably be able to get them both. Warhound Titans always look cool too, like with the wolf face and everything.
They do.
Like that. But the Pythiron, you probably get more mileage out of it.
That's my opinion. I think my personal opinion. I think it looks cooler than the Warhound.
Oh, okay.
But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
It's also kind of cool to have something called a Titan.
Right? Yeah, that's true as well. Volt Runnin asks, what is your method for painting a Scottish tartan? Oh, buddy. So I guess you're asking this because of our Heroes of Herrenberg. Oh, Colin, did I do it again? Did I say it wrong? Heroes of Herrenberg. Heroes of Herrenberg.
Oh.
Because the first time I said it was Heroes of Harrienberg. And I messed that up. Yeah, so where I play Mrs. Doubtwater, I painted up her tartan or her kilt. And then I kind of helped out Cullen as well. Cullen kind of pre-painted a kilt or tartan for his character. Then I painted in all the lines for the pattern. In terms of a method, so you start off with your base color. So let's say you're going with a red. You're going to want to start off with your lightest color first. So let's say you're going to go. So let's say you go with a light red, right? So for your base, let's say if a Mephiston red, you then get your next kind of your medium tone. So let's say you mix a little bit of Mephiston red with a little bit of black. So maybe 3 Mephiston red to 1 black. Mix that up, and then you start doing your kind of hash lines going down.
Yeah.
You then mix whatever color is next in the pattern. I would honestly just research whatever tartan you want and then kind of go based on the colors. So let's say now you have all your striations going down. You find your next color. So let's say it's a darker red going this way. You then mix 2 red with 1 black, and then you go this way. And then I think there's like a darker black somewhere else in the tartan. So you just go straight black, and then you follow the lines down within the pattern. And depending on the tartan, sometimes you'll have like a bright red, a bright orange, a blue in there. So you just follow your pattern, and then you just go kind of straight lines. Now, sometimes in a tartan or a kilt, depending on how the cloth falls, it's not always just straight. So you might have a straight line and then it kind of folds, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to be very mindful of where you kind of your fold kind of falls or where that line goes.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Stick to my green Dark Angels, I think.
It sounds complicated, but the very first time I did it, it's really just guesswork. And half the time when I'm painting something, I'm just guessing. I wouldn't call myself a pro painter. Whenever I'm painting, I'm guessing, and then it's all just luck. I just happen to be really good at getting lucky.
Hey, better lucky than good.
Right?
Yep.
So, excuse me. Next question from Najalf. Apocalypse seems to use universal rules. I joined in 8th, so I'm wondering, what do you all think about it?
So I appreciated when they changed from general rule, like universal rules, like in 7th edition to 8th edition, having the rules on the data sheet, because there's so many times in 7th edition that you would have to, when you're trying to figure out what your unit did, you would look up the unit in the codex, then you would see the universal rule, and then have to look up the rule in the main rule book to figure out what it does. This time you just look it up in the codex and you see it right there. I think the benefit that Apocalypse has is that they have the cards, right? Like the data sheets are kind of all out in cards there that you see in front of you. So they're not going to go back to the universal rules.
There's some changes.
Yeah, they do have some changes in them, and I think that universal rules, I don't know, they're easier to remember them if you're going to be playing the game enough. Like I played 7th edition a lot when I was, because I was making battle reports and things like that and playing in tournaments. You play it a lot, and eventually you start to remember those universal rules. They just come. You don't have to look them up. You just know what they do.
Repetition.
But I mean, the same thing happens with the individual codex entries. It's just that when you forget what happens, you have to look them up in 2 books for universal rules versus just the 1 book for more specific rules to on the data slates. So in Apocalypse, it'll be interesting to see how that goes, how many they have, and how impactful those universal rules will be. Like maybe you can just have like the universal rules out printed or something like that on the side that you can just reference on each of the data slates as you go along. But I don't know. We'll see. I haven't been able to play any of those games yet. Hopefully soon. But see what happens. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Next question from Captain Spasmo. Excuse me. Have you heard of underwater ice hockey? Canada sounds like the ideal place to play. So I've lived in Canada all my life. What the heck is underwater ice hockey?
I think I've seen a video of it online, and it's basically like you have to hold your breath and like go to the bottom of the pool where there's like a weighted puck, and you have to hit it with like hand hockey sticks like along the bottom of the pool into like goals that they have weighted on the bottom of the pool. So I think that'd be kind of interesting. So get your questions in, because we're probably going to be closing the queue for questions in here because it's 3 o'clock already.
Yeah, so we're going to go until about 3:30, so half an hour more. So yeah, get your questions in ASAP. So we'll go get your questions in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, so that's 3:07. We're going to be 3:07 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. We'll probably be closing the queue for that.
So let's try to get some rapid fire questions.
Yeah, sounds good.
Why does that get going next?
Oops.
That's weird.
Maybe just click on it. Then you click on.
There we go.
Oh, did we clear other ones?
No, Dan 112. Dan 122222. Do you feel the Eldar are too strong and need to be changed to make them less powerful? I think Eldar, like the Eldari, didn't they just recently get a change to them? I know Dark Eldar are very powerful.
I don't think that they're too strong. I think they're strong. Don't get me wrong. I think that that the Eldar, all of the Eldar races, from Harlequins to the Craft Worlds to the Dark Eldar to Ynnari, are strong. I don't think they're too strong. They still, I've beaten them plenty of times with my Dark Angels and also with my Gene Stealer cult. And if I can do that, anyone can. So you don't have to agree so quickly to the fact that if I can beat them, anyone can. But yeah, I don't think that they're too strong. I think that they have some very strong abilities. I think they've got some very strong units that can be played. And I think that sometimes they can be, like, people very much emphasize those, like having a bunch of Alatok flyers on the table, because it kind of emphasizes a lot of their strengths that they do. But honestly, I don't think that they're too strong. I think you can play against them, and I think that they have some weaknesses that you just need to learn how to kind of counteract when you're playing them. That would be my thoughts on Eldar. So
decent. Yeah. That's more experience than I have playing against Eldar.
Yeah.
So War Buggies asks, what is your biggest learning curve when you started filming bat reps? I think my biggest one was being confident in myself and just kind of knowing the rules and being behind the camera. I feel as though I knew the gist of the rules, but I didn't feel like when I was actually behind the camera, I feel like they just kind of escaped my brain right away, and then everything just kind of fell apart. But now that I'm getting a little bit more confident, I'm able to remember more things, and actually I think it's coming out more in the more content that I make.
Yeah, and for me, one of the biggest things was remembering what it is that I was doing. So, there's a lot of times when you're just playing a game with people, and it's a close game, and it's a tight game, and it's a very tactical game, and it's coming down to the wire, and you get quiet, and you start to become very introspective, and you're thinking very hard about what's happening here, and you don't want to make any mistakes. You want to make the right thing. And it took a bit for me to realize that people watching a battle report don't want you to be quiet. They want to see the same kind of reactions that you have on a free-flowing game. They want to have the kind of, they want to enjoy it. It's a piece of entertainment that we're creating when we make these. And it's understanding that that's the emphasis that you have to make on it, that you have to be entertaining first and then try to win second.
Yep.
Then you're making the battle reports. And that was one of the things that I had to realize before my videos really became better to watch, because like I said, I watched one of my first battle reports a couple of months ago, and it was real rough.
So the next question comes in from Kroll46. Vito, you just said you liked AVP. What is your opinion on an AVP Requiem? And Phil, what is it like staying in the bunker? AVP Requiem. Oh, what a dumpster fire. I didn't like. I mean, I thought the premise was pretty cool, like having a hybrid of both Predator and Alien fused together, and then you have like this kind of melting pot of the both. But I feel like it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah. The bunker is awesome. The beds are super comfortable. They've got Casper mattresses, and the first night I slept like a log. I was out when the lights went out, and I slept like a log. It was super comfortable. The rooms are all themed really cool, and it's awesome being able to just like wake up in the morning, take your shower, and then just like stumble downstairs, and you're right there, right back into everything. So highly recommend it if it's available to you when you're coming up to visit to check it out, because it's a ton of fun, super comfortable, and a really good time. So
just to let everyone know, we just closed the queue. So we've got our questions set in now, and we're just going to be rapid firing right through them. The Big Bad Pete 91 asks, in any game of Age of Sigmar, how many Keeper of Secrets have you lost in the game, as my record is killing 3 of them in one game? I think I've lost 3. Like, I started with 1, and then I've been able to summon like up to 3, and then I've lost them. So I think that's how many I've lost, was about 3 Keeper of Secrets. I just love running Keeper of Secrets and summoning them back in. Yeah. They're just so big and beefy, and then just bringing them back. It's just that, like, you can summon, like, so for 25 depravity points, you can summon 30 demonettes.
Okay.
But for 30, you can bring a Keeper of Secrets.
Nice.
So it's like one of those, like the
30 5 more points, and it's like,
but 30 could be, like 30 demonettes could probably be a little bit more beneficial.
Yeah.
Or summoning like more things, but then having that Keeper's like, oh, look how good this thing is.
Super cool, yeah.
Yeah. So the next question is from Crown Falcom 16. Vito and Phil, how do you paint armies fast, quick, and easy? Do you have a quick way?
So for me, I've noticed, and when I paint up my models, when I paint up my armies, a lot of my consideration is how it's going to look like on the tabletop, because I don't do contests and stuff like that. I know my painting level is I would say it's tabletop plus, so it's nice, it looks good on the table, people appreciate it, and it does bring something to the game. But I'm not looking to win like a gold brush or a crystal brush or like a golden demon. So when I paint my armies, what I have learned to do is to narrow down what it is that I think that certain models need. For instance, a lot of my Dark Angels infantry, when I first started painting, I spent a lot of time trying to do edge highlighting on a lot of my models. And I came to the realization that with just a base coat, like with just the base colors and a wash, that underneath standard lighting on a table that you're playing with, it looks decent, it looks good. That I didn't need to spend all that time on those edge highlightings. And because I was not enjoying doing the edge highlighting, and when I would look at the models after I painted it, I didn't get like an extra sense of pride in those edge highlights. So I realized, why am I doing this if it's not looking better, if it's not making me feel better, if I'm not enjoying it more? I realized that like taking out that level of highlight really added something. So
Right.
for me, it saved myself the ability to still enjoy painting, still enjoy my armies. And and for different armies it varies. Like my Death Watch, if you just try to do plain black, it doesn't look great. It kind of like fades in, doesn't do anything. So I started to learn different ways of doing highlights. Like for my black that I use for my Death Watch, for instance, is I get it black, I get them all black, and then I do a heavy dry brush of like a light gray, like a standard Mechanicus gray, and then I do a light brush of like a Fenrisian gray, so it gets that blue tone, and then I just wash it with Nuln, like a dark tone or a Nuln oil, and then I also and then I'll block in other colors and then wash it again, and 2 layers of those deep washes, like a dark tone or a Nuln oil, bring it back down to almost black, but gives it the definition that I want to see in a model that I'm playing with. So finding what level of work that you need to do to make yourself happy with your models is what my recommendation for quick, fast, and easy would be.
For me, I'm a big stickler. I always like to go the extra step just because I'm very anal. I like all my miniatures to look a certain way. So if you want quick and easy, and if you can afford it, I would highly recommend an airbrush. Airbrushes are the essential thing if you want to get things done really, really quickly, especially if you're getting into the commission game, or if you just want to get things, like if you have 20 to 30 models done and you need to get them done really, really fast. Even if you want to just get base coats done, the airbrush is key, and I highly recommend everyone to invest the time, like I said, just for base coats. Even if you're not going to push yourself to that level, which I highly recommend that you should, to up your game. Once the airbrush is not the end all to be all, but I highly recommend that you get it just for base coats. It's going to make a world of difference. Going on to the next question from Orion of the 11B. Have you considered playing the 30K, any 30K with your White Scars or other armies? So the White Scar army here at MiniWarGaming that I use, that's not my own personal army. I just love the White Scars so much. But I do have intentions of playing or getting White Scars for 30K. I used to have Thousand Suns. I used to have about 12,000 points until I actually sold the army. I used to have about 6,000 points of Raven Guard, but I sold that as well. Actually, MiniWarGaming owns the army.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I do want to get White Scars, especially with the new stuff that's coming out. Jagged coming out eventually. But the army that like my 3,000 points that I want to run is like $2,000. Yeah. And that's just like 18 jet bikes, a Fire Raptor, and like 3 other models. Yeah. So that's gonna have to wait eventually.
Yeah. And I haven't played much. I haven't played any 30K, and a big reason is that I mean, a lot of my purchases have to be things that can go on my channel, and unfortunately, the Space Marines that I chose to do have a different color in 40K than they do in 30K, so it's hard for me to like play with the models in both for me. So
we have a question here from Griff2K9. I'm a little late to the chat, but question for Phil. Do you have any plans to start an AOS army or start AOS battle reports on your channel? So I would love to, but unfortunately I just don't kind of have the time or resources to do it. I mean, I love the models that they've come out with the steampunk dwarves or the wet elves or the snack ladies. Like, all those models look super, super cool. And every time they come out with new ones, I'm like, oh, I want those so bad. Like, they look so awesome. And everyone raves about the AOS rule set, especially now with 2.0. They rave about it, and they say it's a ton of fun, and it does seem really interesting. But the problem is that I could probably invest and buy like a 2,000 point army, but that would be the army that I would then have, and that works for one battle report. You know, and the AOS scene back down in Savannah, Georgia, isn't as big as the 40K scene, so it'd be even harder for me to get consistent opponents to come onto the channel to film with that would have varied armies to play with, because a lot of times on there they have like their one AOS army, that their one list that they play
because if you're just playing with your friends, it doesn't matter if you vary your list. You can play with the same list over and over again, and it's fun. But a lot of times for battle reports, unfortunately, people want to see variety. You know, so it's not just the same battle report over and over again, rehashed on the channel. They can change it up. So it would require a fair amount of investment of both time and resources that I just unfortunately don't have right now for AOS. And unfortunately, everything I do hobby-wise is geared towards the channel because of all the work that kind of goes into something like that. So it kind of keeps me from, even on a personal level, being able to do a game like AOS.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
So the Celt76 asks, "Hi, I heard there are some new Death Guard models. Do you know anything about these? Thanks." I'm not too sure about anything about Death Guard models.
Yeah, I don't know about new ones coming up, but they've been consistently coming out with new ones since the beginning of 8th edition.
Yeah.
That have just been, all of the new stuff that they've been coming out with them are super cool looking.
Yeah.
Super cool looking, like all the different characters that they have. I just filmed a battle report with Luca earlier this week with my Dark Angels versus his Death Guard, and there were a couple of the newer kind of models in there for that one. So you have to check that one out. It was a good one. But
I'm not sure about any new stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard about any new ones that are supposed to be coming out, but they look cool. So I'm sure they're going to keep looking cool.
Always.
Yeah,
GW's been doing a really good job.
A really good job. So
for Kaiser Clerk, with the new Sisters Codex coming out and how they add the admin units, do you think they will do something similar with the Custodes and Sisters of Silence?
I could see them coming out with something for the Sisters of Silence in White Dwarf, similar to what they've been doing, like with the Assassins or with the Eldari. I could see them. I think that's something that they're doing in the future, as opposed to coming out with like very tiny codexes like they did in 7th edition with like 2 units. I think they're going to be coming out with to things in the White Dwarf to help you use them. So I could see them doing something like that with the Sisters of Silence. I could see them doing something like that to have them maybe having some kind of matrix to use them to work with the Custodes. Like you're talking about how you can get some of the Administratum units into the Sisters of Silence stuff. But yeah, it's kind of I could see them doing something. I don't know what they'll do. I would love to see another one of the agents of the Imperial agents, like they had the other codex, which gave you a lot of the rules for the smaller things kind of in one place. Right. I really liked that, and I think it would be interesting if they came out with a codex like that that had rules for working together, so that you could take them all in the same kind of detachment for that kind of usage. So, because last time, I think when they first came out in 7th edition, it was hard to use everything in that agents of the Imperial Agents Codex together. I think it'd be interesting if you had a way to use all of these smaller factions together, as they do in the fluff, where they have like an Inquisitor asking for like a Death Watch kill team to work with them, and then getting an assassin to do something like that. I think it'd be interesting to see if they could pull that together, and it would be fun. I don't know if they'll do it. Maybe something in the White Dwarf, I think, would. I'd
love to see some Sisters of Silence too.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I remember reading in 1,000 Suns, the Sisters of Silence were there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one character in of the 1,000 Suns Legion, because the Sisters of Silence, they don't talk.
Yeah.
But he punished her so much with, I believe it was Psychic Might or Bolter. He hurt her so much that she eventually yelled out.
Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of, they do talk.
Oh, jeez.
So I thought, I'd love to see actually some Sisters of Silence.
Yeah.
So Grimjaw1 asks, what is your favorite cookies?
Ooh. All right. So my favorite cookie, and this is probably spicy on the level of Digimon over Pokemon, and spicy on the level of Let's See the Emperor Die.
Okay.
My favorite cookie is oatmeal raisin cookies.
Those are good.
I know. They're real good. But they also get a lot. See, I can see Cullen over there just being like, I don't know, favorite cookie. So oatmeal raisin cookies are my favorite cookie.
Interesting.
And they're really tasty. It's the only way that Cullen will eat raisins. So I guess they got that at least. They're giving him getting the raisins into Cullen. But I love oatmeal raisin cookies, and those are my favorite. I know they're like. My wife hates oatmeal raisin cookies because she says they always trick her. She's like, you think you're getting like a chocolate chip cookie, and all of a sudden it's raisins, and it's like flip the table time for her.
So for me, and I don't know how many people are going to know what these are. But my favorite, especially growing up, are S cookies.
Yes, the S cookies. I remember those. Those are real good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
love me some S cookies. Those were always in the house, especially at my grandmother's my grandmother's place. And I always thought that was just an Italian thing.
Yeah.
But oh man, I think the company's like Milano who
Yeah.
makes that. Or the Italian S cookies.
Yes.
Like, because there's the vanilla ones
Yep.
with the icing on it. There's the lemon ones. S cookies. If you don't know what S cookies are, just type in S cookies in Google. Pure joy.
Yeah, real good.
So Kim SB. Oh geez.
Kim Sabimzi one?
Kim's, yeah, that one.
We'll go with that. Kim Sabimzi one.
I'm horrible with names. I'm so sorry. Vito, any news about your custom dice? ? Happy face. So the design has finally been made. We're gonna have a vest. Unfortunately, we couldn't go with the color that I wanted, but my second choice color is there. And because I play a lot of Slaanesh, I'm gonna be the primary Slaanesh player on the channel. We are going to go with a dark purple dye with white pips. So the dye symbol or the vest symbol will be purple. I think we're putting in the order very soon because everyone's going to be getting new dice. Nice. Well, not new dice, but a reorder of dice. So those should hopefully be coming very soon, and I'm very excited because I'm just tired of using, hand-me-downs.
Yeah, I appreciate because you're using
Josh's
beard dice, so they've been feeling the beard power.
They have.
From me, so I'll take that.
Dylan Bauer 101 asks, what is your guys' opinion on Contrast now that it's been out for a few weeks or two? We kind of covered that a little bit. I think they're great, especially for new people who are coming into the hobby, but for more advanced painters. I consider myself an advanced painter. I don't think I'll be using them as much, but I did say that for getting models done really quickly, I will be using them and using them more on metallics because they have a really cool hue to them. When you put them on metallics, you lose a little bit of the luster when you put them on metallics, but I definitely think these are meant for getting armies done fast and for getting newer people into the hobby, or for people who just don't like painting. You put on your primers of the new whites that have come out, or even the Corax white, and you can get an army done really quickly. So kudos to GW for making painting more accessible to everybody.
Yeah, and I think fleshes are going to be really good for that. So,
the fleshes are
especially for something like orcs or anything like that, where you have a horde of models that all have these flesh tones that you try to build up. The contrast, I think, is going to be perfect for that.
Yeah. Squealy Pigs asks, cool. My family originate from Lagorn back during Lord Nelson times. That's really cool to know.
Yeah.
It's really cool to know people's history and about where they come from. Yeah. I always wanted to do that kind of genealogy to see where in Italy my family's come from, how far back they go. So that'd be really neat to kind of do. Zuper65 asks, I aspire to have a beard like either of you two. How long have you been growing your beards respectfully? Much love for the Woo crew. So how long have you been growing your beard for?
Yeah, I've been for, now this one has been in development for 6 years now, a little over 6 years. No, about almost exactly 6 years. I started painting it, started growing it when I first moved to Alaska, because I kind of on and off had a beard of varying lengths. And when I was down in Mississippi, I was a staff photographer down there, and it got really super hot summers, and I was working, and I kept it kind of trimmed, and because every time it would get too long, people would comment that they'd be like, "Oh, you got a beard like the Duck Dynasty guys." And I was like, "No, nothing like that, just like myself." So, so I trimmed it when I went up to go work at the University of Alaska Anchorage up there, not knowing that when I got up to Alaska that literally every guy up there has beards.
Right.
So, so I got up there, and that's when I really started really growing it out and getting it being a bit more bushy. And I've trimmed, I trim it for shape every once in a while, but this has been full beard now like this for about 6 years.
As for me, I kind of like to keep more of a goatee kind of look. I started shaving at around grade 6, grade 7. And I've kind of had a goatee ever since. I mean, I've tried variations, you know, kind of cutting this in between, and kind of had more like a Green Arrow kind of a look, or what's the other archer? Steals from the rich. Gives the
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood had more of a Robin Hood kind of look. I've had kind of full beards in the past, but it kind of gets me kind of like really itchy. And I did fan film ones as Wolverine, so I kind of like had the really long mutton chops.
Nice.
But yeah, I've always stuck to the goatee, so that's kind of my thing. And I've had one, like I said, for a very, very long time.
Because he actually has to keep it like that because he's the evil version of a different Vito in a different timeline. So,
Oh, right, yeah, exactly.
So if he didn't wear that, the other Vito wouldn't know which was the.
And and then you know that's the baby Vito. Yeah, that's the superhero version.
Exactly.
I'm the jerk.
Yeah.
Well, I actually think I just deleted a comment, Cullen. If we can go back and find one, just before 15:03:20. I may have deleted a comment by accident. I apologize if I've deleted your comment. The last one is Ja Edel.
At 15:03:20.
Oh, J.A. Waddell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's at 15:03:20, and there would be one right before it.
Before it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it about Titanicus?
Maybe because we don't see it here, obviously.
CPTS or...
Oh, never mind. I got it right over here. Uncle_Servo. Can someone record a snippet of Phil's "woo" to insert into Vito's bat reps when anyone rolls a 6? That'd be actually kind
So
of
if you want to get ready, you can clip it. I'll get ready for this. Are you guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
There you go.
There you go.
Now you have
a clean, clippable woo for you guys.
And then the last and final question from J.A. Waddell. Did I say it right, Colin?
Got it right that time.
Hey! How do you make wolves? The animals work in a space wolves army. Well, I'm glad I read the last part of that question. Well, when a male wolf and a female wolf get together.
That's how you make wolves.
How do you make them work in a space wolves army? I don't really play space wolves. Space wolves, fluff-wise, are not really kind of my thing. Do you have any familiarity with space wolves?
Yes, I've played them a fair amount of times. The best way to make them work is to make them wolfen. The second best way to make them work is to put a Space Marine on their back and have them as Thunderwolf cavalry. And then the third way is the Cyber Wolves, which, I mean, they're super cool. They're tough 4. They're just annoying to try to clear out. Like they're tough and they're cheap, and they kind of just like roam around and they're fast. So they can work for jumping on objectives, I would imagine, or screening out certain characters. I think they would be good for, because you can run like a fairly good sized blob of the Cyber Wolves up. But Thunderwolf cavalry are super strong, and Wolfen are just those things are just like what abhuman blenders.
Right. Yeah.
They'll just go up there and just like mulch through anything that they manage to get that charge off onto. So that would be my suggestion on how to make the wolves work in the Space Wolf army.
Yeah, or you can watch National Geographic.
It's true, and find out how wolves are made.
And find out how wolves are made. But that's going to be it for our time, folks, with me, Vito the Vest, and Phil the Glacial Geek. Like I said before, if you want to leave questions for Steve, which is going to be on the next video, or the next Sit and Talk, you can leave questions on the MiniWarGaming website. Yep. That's going to be on this video.
Yeah, for the video of this Sit and Talk, check that out.
Yep. And we also, I think Heroes of Herrenberg is going to be next week. And are we doing it at 12:30, Colin?
We go live at 12 for the pregame start.
Yeah, so we go live at 12 Eastern time. And then that's for the pre-show, and then 12:30 for the actual show Eastern time. So make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday, because we're coming back. You can see Mrs. Doubtwater coming back, shooting her pew pew pew, and everyone else in the show as well.
And another thanks to Wibbin for Twitch Pride for 2 months. Thank you very much for helping support the channel.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And as always, folks, we want to thank you for joining in, tuning in, listening to myself ramble about me and other topics. And also thank you, Phil, for coming on
I'm always
the show.
happy to ramble.
Rambling is great.
That's pretty much the thing I'm best at.
So I'm glad it's not dice.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Actually, you've actually been doing
I was
really
going to
good.
say, rolling dice is definitely not what I'm best at.
But as always, folks, keep it moist. Peace on the streets and happy wargaming.
Woo!